Hey guys, how are you? Today, just wanted to show you what we have going on. This is Laura. We've had some hand-tied weft extensions, and what we're doing is we're doing a move up, but then also we're adding another half machine weft extension pack just to give her a little more length so we can blend the two together. Right here you can see that I already have the part sectioned out, and what I like to do is I section out the like a little, like a quarter of a half inch sections all the way around, and then pin underneath, so that way all the beads that I am going to be beading are about the same exact size. And I do leave a little, like a centimeter apart, so there's not like they're right next to each other. I don't connect them at all, they're just beaded straight down from the root. I feel like this helps with not pulling the hair. The weight distribution is the same, and then also I've noticed that if we do like a bridge where the beads are connected with a lot more space between, they can become very loose and they'll get little waves, like almost like a banner. You can see right here I'm taking a small little section, and then I'm taking the loop, excuse it being in my mouth, I just, force of habit, terrible habit, bead on the bead, and then I take the clampers and clamp it right up to it, but I clamp it so it's not right on the scalp and she still has a little room, and that way the weight distribution won't be too hard on the scalp and it won't pull the hair. Just to speed it up a little bit right now. So what I like to do is I like to bead the row that I'm going to be sewing on, and then I actually like to measure the hair afterwards. Like I usually have like a general idea of where I want it, and then sometimes I will measure it before, but I like to measure it afterwards. That way if I have any beads that I can take off afterwards, I do that. So even if I know that there's going to be extra, I leave them on just in case I need to use those beads, just to give it extra, make sure it sews on securely, especially on those corners, so that way there's not any like little floppies or anything like that when it starts to loosen up. And then now I'm just gonna cut the weft, and I'm going to glue down the edges so it doesn't unravel or lose any loose hairs. So here I am, and I'm folding the hair in half, and then now I'm just securing it to the row, and I'm going to be sewing it onto. Usually a lot of people like to use little tiny clips that have the rubber on it right on the top. I just find having these long flat clips are a lot easier for me. That way, like, I don't have to move any clips at the top or anything like that, and I feel like it just stays a lot more, in my opinion, and I don't have to use as many. I use 3 and then they stay perfectly. Sometimes if you have too thin of hair, they don't always work, so I'll use a mixture of both of them, but these ones I find are just a lot easier for me. So right here what I'm doing is I'm looping down the string. I'm looping it between the bead right behind it, up and then through the hair extensions, and then between the 2 strings that I have, so it just creates a little knot. And then I do that twice, and then I also secure it together with a knot, and then glue it down so it doesn't unravel or anything like that. And then I continue doing that all the way around the whole entire weft behind each bead. What I like to do is at least one to the left of the bead and one to the right. That way it covers all the weft's ground, and that way that it will not become loose, or it won't get little droopies or anything like that. Now you can see the weft is already sewn in. You can see she's playing with the hair, feeling it, how her luscious locks is. I'm just gluing the edges down, making sure that it won't unravel at all. I know it's super crazy. Some people get super nervous when you have super glue next to their head, but you only put a little dot, and you only put it on the string. And then see right here, there's just one little bead that I didn't need anymore, and then I'm just gonna remove that one and take it out and start my next row. So right here you can actually see her natural hair. If I actually get out of the way, her natural hair is actually really long, so it's really easy to blend with. And what I'm doing is just taking another section. I usually like to do 2 fingers apart, that way there isn't the weft rubbing together, the tension creates any knots between. And that way I can see what we have. So right here you can see what I was talking about when I like to section out a 1/4 of a 1/2 inch little section, very tiny, so I can have all the beads the same size. So the hair is all the way down right where the part that I wanted it to be at, and then I just follow right beneath it, very thin. And I just find this is a lot easier, so I know the beads are all the same size and it doesn't pull the hair at all. And then I'll clip it up. I can find this stinking clip. A little small section, and I'm gonna use that to bead. Clip that out of the way, and then I tuck all the hair behind her ears, and then clip all that down, and clip that flat so it's not on the way or anything like that. Usually I use like the flat clips, or I'll use like the alligator claw clips, knowing because those ones lay a lot flatter too versus like those bigger clips. So again, just beading the rows, small sections, like 1 centimeter apart all the way around. And I kind of like going to the angle of the head, so say it's at a little angle going to the left, I'm gonna angle the bead going to the left. If it's going straight down in the back, in the middle, I'll go straight down. But if it's to the right angle going vertically to the ground, I'm going to bead it that way also, just the way that it flows, and then there's not like a weird little angle going on the beads. Alrighty guys, so all the hair is in right now, and I know you could see like a huge line and it's not blended. What I'm doing right now is I'm going over the hair with a flat iron so I can have it all lay straight and flat. That way when I go ahead and start blending them together, I can see how it lays, and if I need to take off a little more length I can, but it blends pretty well. I know I just need to do a little more blending with the layers and maybe take off a little more length, but it looks great. Her natural hair that we already have her color at blends really well with those JZ Styles Collie half left. So here's more of the end result. I am using the 1 1/4 Bionic long barrel curling iron, and what I like to do is everything in front of the ear I like to curl back, and then everything behind the ear I like to rotate it. So everything on the back I'll do one way, and then I'll do the opposite way. So I'll do the first 2 wraps, I pull it through. It fell out of the barrel because it's super loose. But I'll wrap it in there for a second, hold it, let it heat up. And then I'll let it go, and then I'll pull the ends right through. Wrap it around twice, wrap it around again, drop it, and then pull through the ends so they're straight a little bit. So our hair looks bomb. I'll curl before I put some texture spray in it. Super full, long. Color looks So what I did is I finished styling it with some dry shampoo on the roots, and then I put some texture spray all over her ends, and you could see this gorgeous wave that she has going right now.